I want to say, and that is I've had just a few people I have not heard from. They've not turned in any homework. I got good news yesterday. It is located in my email. There's two things you can do if you don't have Wi-Fi or a book or a computer. Number one, if you need a computer to do your homework, the Learning Center has been open this week, and it might be open next week. You'll have to check. They can also do online tutoring. Again, call the Learning Center or call Metro and find out. You may also call your advisor. Sometimes they can find money for an ebook for you and money for a code so that you can use my reading lab, which you'll need to do before the end of the semester. Then I got a note last night from the president of the university saying a donor has come through with some funds for students to obtain some type of online learning equipment and maybe books. And I gave that information in the email of how you can apply for that assistance. So there's lots of ways, and if you never got that information, please call me and I will give it to you. Okay, I have decided I've made some accommodations. Some of my assignments have been on Blackboard. Some of them have been on email. I need to know if you guys can't get on Blackboard, can't get on the class. Okay, let's talk about my reading lab, which is your online, work. You need to register for my reading lab, and in class I showed you all the card that came with your Making Reading Relevant book that has an access code. The access code is a series of capital letters. You need to follow the registration form, which is under the Introduction Module Spring Reading Strategies course. In that registration letter is my class number. It's also on your syllabus, which is also in the Introduction module. It's Owens and then 5 letters, and I don't know them by heart. If you call me or text me, I can mail them to you, but you can find them in the introduction module of Blackboard. Now, if you don't have a code, you may get a temporary one right there on the registration form. You fill in everything you need to do, and then you come to a page where it says enter access code. At the bottom of that page, it should give a temporary code, which is good for either 10 days or 2 weeks. Then if you still don't have a book, call an advisor, tell her the situation, see if she can perhaps provide some money to get one or tell you how to get one. You can also use a credit card to buy, I think it's $50 to buy an access code. Also on that registration form, if you're having difficulty, you can email Pearson and they will help you. They'll give you a phone number of who to call. Right now, I have to call the representative because 2 of you, that's all who's registered, or 2 people. And I don't know what 2 of those are, so I have to call the representative because they said my registration code is expired. Okay, when you get to my reading lab, let me tell you about that introduction. It says reading skills, reading level. Right now, you're only to be concerned with the reading level. Next to reading level, it says Lexile Locator. That is a diagnostic test consisting of 25 questions. You take those 25 questions, and that'll tell what level you're on. Then next week, you go to reading level, next reading, and it will have a series of titles of articles for you to read. You need to choose 2 of those, read the article, answer the questions. That's how you make your Lexile come up. There's diagnostic questions and example questions. After you've done a couple of those, next week do both. After that, we'll talk. Okay, if everybody could do that much, it would be wonderful by next Friday. I'm going to ask that all your assignments be due the Friday of that week. So this week, what you should have done are pages 5, 6, and 7 of your Making Reading Relevant textbook, and that context clue packet that I emailed and also sent in Blackboard. And number 3, your registration and Lexile locator test for my reading lab. Now, what I would like you to do this weekend is go to Blackboard, Module 1. Go down to Latin and Greek analysis. Fill in those blanks using page 13 of your textbook. Then go to your telephone or the computer, look at your email. I just sent everyone 20 sentences. Those are true-false sentences. Get a piece of paper, number 1 to 20, and decide using those prefixes whether the sentence is true or false. So just put a capital T or F, or you can just number to 20 next to the number of the sentence. Put F for false and a T for true. Then take a picture of it and send it to me. That will go in my grade book. And another thing you need to do is quiz number 1. So I hope you're taking notes. Those of you that are ready for next module number 2, first of all, let me talk about vocabulary a minute. Adults use 3 different methods to figure out a word they don't know. First of all, they can look it up in a dictionary. Dictionary is good. It teaches you the definition, or it tells you the definition, the part of speech, and the pronunciation. But it takes time. And if you're reading and you're trying to understand what you read, you might want to go to the dictionary if it's for a class or for something important. But if it's just a word that you don't know and you might want to take a good guess at, you use context clues. And a context clue is when you look at the words around the words that you don't know and you try to figure it out. Often the author gives you the meaning of the word right in the sentence. And in your packet, the first one was glögg, comma, a Swedish punch, comma, is served at the holidays. I know that that's not the sentence, but it's something like that. 2 commas. In between those commas is a definition for what glögg is, a Swedish punch. Sometimes the author will put the definition right after the word is. Glögg is a Swedish punch that's served at the holidays. Sometimes I'll put it in parentheses, or they'll put it between 2 dashes. Sometimes they give examples. Like I believe in the book, one of the example clues was the pharmaceutical company makes penicillin and morphine. Well, if you don't know what pharmaceutical means, you probably know what morphine and I forgot what else I said. Say penicillin and morphine are. They're different kinds of medicines. So you know pharmaceutical means medicines. So you've got example clues, definition clues. Then there's contrast, which means the opposite. There's some key words in sentences which alert you that there is a contrast clue. Those key words are like but, however, although. Example, although Johnny was very energetic, his brother Tim was lethargic. However, so you're going to, the opposite of energetic is lethargic, which means maybe not lazy, but tired, not active. That's a contrast clue. And the last one was inference. Inference, you just have to use what you know in your brain, your background information, and combine it with the words in the sentence to figure it out. For instance, let me see if I can think of one. The girl finished all her homework. She was always very diligent. There's no clues really, except she finished all of her homework. So she was also always very hardworking. She was always very thorough. You just have to make an inference. So anyway, those are different kinds of context clues. The third way to figure out a word is by word analysis. And that's where those pages 13, 14, and 15, 16, and 17 come in. So for 5 different weeks, we're going to study those. In Blackboard, and I forget the title, but under Module 1, if you look down the page, it talks about Greek and Latin, page 13. And there's a list of prefixes. Word analysis means you use prefixes, suffixes, and roots. If you learn what these roots and prefixes are on these pages, no matter what your field of study, it's going to help you figure out the meaning of words. Because, and your book tells us it's 50 or 70% of English is made from Latin and Greek words. So whether you're in auto mechanics or medicine, you're going to run into these. So we will learn 20 each time. Your final will be all 100. And so go to your Blackboard, Module 1, write the meaning of those prefixes down, go to your phone, and I just sent you 20 sentences, true, false sentences. So I'm sorry if I already said this, forgive me. Number of paper, 1 to 20, put true or false. Is that sentence true or is that sentence false? Use your word analysis skills to figure it out. So on a piece of paper, you have 1 to 20 TF, 3, 4, or anyway, send it in to me and I will grade it and put it in my grade book. So I'd like you to have that done by next Tuesday. Okay. Next Tuesday, we're going to start talking about comprehension. And the chapter is Basic Comprehension Skills. And probably way back in 2nd grade, you talked about topic and main idea. If you have your book, take the pretest. I think we've spoken a little bit about brain research and activating your prior knowledge, because new knowledge is connected to your old knowledge. And PET scans shows your brain lights up in certain locations for different topics. So if you get that part of your brain all warmed up, the new information is going to stick to it easier. Okay, so a topic is what is something mainly about. So you're reading the newspaper and you read something about COVID-19. That's the topic. Then you turn the page and you read about a bad car accident. That's the topic, car accident. And then you turn the page and you read that NASA just sent off a new spaceship. So space would be your next topic. A topic is the first thing you decide about something you read. You look at the title, you read the introduction, you read the last summary or the last paragraph, and you think, what word is mentioned a lot? What is this about? 1 to 4 words, that's all. So it could be the title. And then you read your paragraph or your section. Did somebody just enter? No. I don't know what has happened here. I don't know what happened, but here we go. I'm back. Okay, so I wish I get a visitor. Anyway, I'm talking about main idea. The main idea is the point the author is trying to make about the topic. So when you go to Module 2 and do the first comprehension exercise, the first one won't be graded, it's just practice. And it talks about pennies. And golly, I forget. Oh, I think it says that pennies used to be made from silver, but now they're made from copper, and it tells us why. So the topic is the penny or pennies. And the main idea is